Hello, I'm Debbie Ingram, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor of Vermont, and you are joining me for our virtual tour of Vermont. This week, we're going to Franklin County, so let's get started. When we look at Franklin County by the numbers, we see that it is one of our more populated counties with over 49,000. The percentage of non-white population is 5%, 5.0 compared to 5.8 for the state as a whole, so it's pretty diverse. And the population percentage living below the poverty line is pretty much in line with the rest of the state at 11.1%. The median family income is a little bit higher than the state's median at $62,000. The home price is a little bit lower at $205,000 for home and $930 for gross rent. So it's actually one of our more affordable counties. And it also has quite a number of farms with 729 of Vermont's 6,805. So folks, this afternoon I have with me Doug Flack, who is head of the Flack family farm in Franklin County. And thank you very much, Doug, for talking to me today.
Yes, you're welcome. We're in Fairfield in Franklin County, the town of Fairfield.
Great. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. And just want to make sure that it's clear to everyone too that Doug has been kind enough to chat with me about farming and his farm and his view of farming, but he is not endorsing any candidates. So this does not constitute an endorsement. So Doug, could we start off maybe telling folks about how you came to have this farm? I guess it's called a family farm. Does that mean it's been in your family for generations?
I founded it in the late 70s when I settled here and built it up bit by bit over the decades since then. And we're an organic farm that raises a diversity of things. We have, for 18 years we milked American milking Devon cattle and sold raw milk only. We didn't ship milk. And we still have these cattle. We don't have time to milk them right now, but we're going to go back to it sometime in the future because we love that. And we have a flock of sheep because we sell both meats from sheep and lamb, and from sheep and cattle. Very high quality, grass-fed, no grain, only grass-fed meat, and they feature a high degree of fat, and that's very important and unusual. But our main source of income is fermented vegetables. And last year we produced about 22 tons of sauerkraut and 2 kinds of kimchi. And we've been doing that for 20 years. I belong to NOFA, which is the organic farmers. And I've been also a chapter leader for the Weston A. Price Foundation, which is based on the work of Weston A. Price, and it's about human nutrition and human health. And that's a big focus of why we farm, because human health depends, number one, on what you eat, and what your mother ate, and what your grandmother ate, and grandfather. And that's poorly recognized in our society, which is suffering a huge amount from degenerative diseases that don't need to be there. And now it's gotten very complicated because we have multi-generations of people who suffer nutritional deficiencies of many kinds. So that's so I've been a public lecturer on that subject, and sometimes on my farming methods, but not generally a lot.
Really been very thoughtful about your approach, then haven't you? You're sort of a scholar as well as a farmer.
Well, learning by doing, and over a long time. Yeah.
A very fun thing to do in Franklin County is to attend the Vermont Maple Festival, which is a 3-day event celebrating Vermont's first agricultural crop of the year. Usually you can do sugaring in late February, early March, and this festival is held in April. And highlights include a pancake breakfast, of course, sap run, maple product contest, and the crowning of the Maple King and Queen. And of course, you can look at maple cooking demonstrations and a contest. You can also sample local area restaurant items. This year would have been the 54th anniversary of this festival, but of course it was canceled because of COVID. They are certainly hoping to have it back again next April to celebrate the end of the first harvest. A very interesting bit of Vermont history took place in St. Albans in the fall of 1864. There were small groups of Confederate soldiers who were actually based in Canada who came down to St. Albans, and by October 19th, 21 cavalrymen, Confederates, had assembled in the town, and they started staging simultaneous robberies at the city's 3 banks. They wound up stealing $208,000. They held villagers at gunpoint. They forced them to pledge their allegiance to the Confederacy. They killed one villager and wounded another. And so it became the northernmost land action of the American Civil War, and has been remembered as the St. Albans Raid. Now, the raiders fled back to Canada and were apprehended at the border. $88,000 was recovered and returned to the city of St. Albans. The Canadian courts would not rule on them and declared itself officially neutral and would not extradite them either. So it did put a strain on the relationship between Americans and the British Empire, because Canada was still part of the British Empire at that time. You may remember that back when we did the Windsor County video, I interviewed Nick Matouche, the chef and owner-operator of the Copper Fox, a wonderful restaurant in downtown Springfield. And at the end of that interview, Nick challenged me to come and visit him when COVID allowed and try out his restaurant. So last week I was able to do that with with a volunteer and with some staff, and we had an absolutely delicious meal outdoors, gourmet meal. Started with the soup, had beautiful entrees, wonderful desserts, and chatted with Nick a little bit. So cannot recommend the Copper Fox, downtown Springfield, Vermont, enough. You should go by all means. Hi, I'm Debbie Ingram, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. Thanks so much for joining me for our virtual tour of Franklin County. And don't forget to vote in the primary. Primary day is August 11th. You can vote early by mail or dropping off your ballot at your town clerks. So August 11th, vote for me, Debbie Ingram, for the Democratic nomination for Lieutenant Governor.